How you doing?
Can we get a picture taken?
Sure.
Let's do it. Do you want to just go us three or?
Actually, just three?
Yeah, let's do
You can do it by yourself if you want.
Okay, well, actually here. You snap.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks so much. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Perfect.
Here, if I get one with you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, you're up next.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. You were waiting here.
Is Ben really 5'2"?
I've never been able to measure it. My arms aren't that long.
Alrighty. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Alright, I got like a billion.
All right,
Doing the Lord's work, man. Doing the Lord's
It's
work.
really annoying and I'm back because I'm like picture and
Yeah,
I'm
of course. Ladies first. We'll be right up.
Sorry.
Right up. So I can.
You should start doing
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
All right, sweetheart. How you doing? You're up. You're up.
Ready?
Splendid.
Yeah, I know, right?
Splendid. I want a picture of this for my Twitter.
Don't trust anybody to take a picture of this shirt. I got more pictures of this shirt.
Come here. Come here.
Don't break that 5 foot.
Come here and let me take a picture of us.
Yeah. Oh, I get that too?
No, I got it. Actually, yeah, you do need to get this, yes.
You gotta make sure the lighting's right so I don't look like a shadow, you know.
You look fine, sweetheart. You're gonna be fine. There we go. Just do like a bunch for me.
Yeah.
There we go.
I took like 5. Just
Perfect.
I didn't. Oh, is my phone still on? Yeah. Yeah. Good.
There we go. We like that. That's perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Taking another one.
Hey, perfect. Thanks. Are we having problems with the back door? One second. How's it going? Hi. How are you doing?
stuff, man.
Nice to
Lovely
meet you. All right, thanks very much.
Love it.
Do you know what? I think we're going to do the rest of the end if that's okay, because they're going to let people through much faster now. Just so that we can get started at a reasonable time. But I'll stay around for as long as I need to at the end. Okay? All right. Let me. I'm actually going to come hide behind you just for a minute, just so that I'm less accessible.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming despite all this.
Thank you so
BS.
much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great
All
too.
right. Oh,
These are
splendid.
all my Make America Great friends.
Splendid.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
Picture with you.
Could we do it at the end? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Just
don't rush away because
I promise
we'll,
I won't. I
We'll
promise.
protect you. We'll be your iron guard.
I promise I won't. I'm gonna.
here.
I don't speak Greek.
Okay.
None.
Well,
I only know Malacca.
Well, that's the one you need.
That's all I need.
We'll be here at the.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll wait. This might be a smart time for me to head out back, actually, because it's.
I just want to say hi.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I might actually head up the back. I'm gonna head out the back.
Watch this go.
Thanks. Can I get Tim or somebody? I think the page. Can I get Tim maybe?
Milo, the sunglasses, fam.
Thank you, sweetheart. What did you say?
Oh yeah.
It might be smart for me to head up the back now, because otherwise everyone's gonna want to talk to me when they come through. Right. So I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna head up the back, so otherwise everyone's gonna want me on the way in. Tim, I'm gonna head up the back, because otherwise everyone's gonna want to see me on the way in.
Yes.
So I'll be up there.
Green room. In the bathroom.
Such as it is. Could you just make sure we have sound sorted for,
Yes.
for both of those boys? Because I'm worried about that.
I'm good.
Oh, you got in, did you? Hello. How are you?
How you doing?
We don't shake hands.
Nice
Big
shit
fag. Yeah, right. You got nice seats and everything. You're happy?
do, thank you.
All right, fine. I'll see you in half an hour or something.
Don't these people know if they don't protest, you don't have a story?
No, they don't. Thanks
for coming, man.
Of course. I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks. I'm fine. I just don't want to be in there when everyone's fighting, because everyone's trying to talk to me. crazy still. It's so amusing to me. Hey, again. Thanks so much. Thanks for helping out. Thank you. Got all this. What is that? Part of a tribe. What is it? Okay. I really love my talk at Yale. My favorite sculpture project is in history.
Yeah, one of those mic is on. Cut that. Down now. Yeah, because people were hearing him say stuff and that. He's done it. Okay. Thank you.
He has my insulin. Please. Hey, Tim.
Hey, you gotta watch this. Did that just break?
Hold this. Hold it.
Here, do you guys need help?
We're fine. Can you scoot this over? This is tipsy.
I got it.
Everyone, we're in!
So is Noel's mic gonna be fine? Is Noel's mic gonna be fine?
He's got a microphone for the live stream.
Yeah.
He has to
Oh,
put
he
on
needs
the
a live
school
one.
has like one freaking lavalier.
I can't find anyone from the school.
I know. There's no AV guy. There's nothing.
Where is Haley? Where's the AV guy? We don't have live. We're
one of
good.
these.
We're good on the stream, but Noelle needs to be able to talk to the auditorium. Like, this is not how it's supposed to go. She needs to figure this out. Tell her she can talk to Luke here, but she's in agreement. Okay. About it or me, that'd be great. But we need, because Noelle is talking, but there's no handheld or anything, so how is he gonna talk?
Put it over here just in case.
Yeah, I don't want to know what that is. I mean, shouldn't there be an English version?
There should be, so maybe someone lock themselves upstairs.
Bruin Republicans, close the door. Close the door.
Yo, get in there. Get in there. Well, I need you guys to take hold of this because I don't know what's
So
going
you
on.
need a microphone.
That's the kid who stole.
What's
Yeah,
the deal?
He stole Haley's Asian friend, the one that was like helping
Yeah.
organize. He stole like shit out of his bag and walked away, and I got that shit.
I hope my shit isn't gone. I had a laptop.
Is it on the side over there?
Yeah.
I can take
Like
all these
now, you
things
want me
and
to
put them
grab
with my friends.
I need them here.
Noel is my favorite new comedian who I've met, based in LA. He's going to be opening for us tonight. This is Noel. That's all right, sir. Fine police officers of California.
So these guys.
Yeah. Have this, you're not doing it.
Haley Davis, I'm the external vice president of student council. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Nigel.
Hey, don't break my legs. Don't break my legs. What are you doing? So there's this pounding on the door back here. Someone's just wailing away on the door. InfoWars in there to get the shot.
And we had the same idea at the same time.
That's right. See if you can detect any alien light forms out there. Okay, there they are. Okay, cool. All right. Excellent. I'm the guy doing it. All right, we're waiting to get more people into the room, and then we'll begin the event. the mic around.
Okay. I got it. All right, so we're here at UCLA for the Dangerous Faggot Tour. Currently, we're stuck. A handful of people have managed to get inside, but most of the people have been blocked by maybe a dozen, maybe 24 protesters who are not able, who are blocking more than 500 people who lined up to get into the event, block them from entering. So now we're kind of on hold, waiting for people to come in to fill the rest of the room so that we can listen to Milo's presentation. So on both sides of the hall here, the theater that we're in, people tried to charge into the room. There was a clash between people who were trying to get in and people who were trying to block them from getting in. So they blocked the main entrance and then they moved around and they blocked the side doors as well, creating all kinds of fire hazards. The police had to shut both doors down. And so now there's no entrance for all the people who have been waiting for hours in line to get into the venue to watch the event. Yeah, so they blockaded the front first. The people who managed to make it inside were able to run around and get in through a back door. That's how they were able to get in. But overall, it looks like they're still blocked. People are still not able to get in. We're over an hour past when we were supposed to start, and we still haven't gotten it going. I'm Dustin Stock. I'm with Bright. I got stuck.
Mr. Biggs, just want to say thank you to my entire I'm just happy to see you here. As I say, when we're done.
I'm ready. I'm Dustin. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Milo Yiannopoulos. We're here at UCLA. It's insane, as always, I'm sorry to say. So the protesters kind of stormed the building, and my people, like some of my people are in now. We had to kind of like evade the police to get in here, because the police didn't want to let anybody in. Protesters don't seem to realize, and I tell them, I'm very honest with them about it. I tell them, you are doing all of my marketing work for me. You are helping me out so much. Can't even explain to you how good this is for me. These people, in fact, I reckon, audience at home sitting there thinking, I'm not voting for these guys. These guys are crazy. I'm going to vote for the other guy. Protests like this, which characterize the left as intolerant, we're getting similar one of the favorite chants at my events, because people here love America. I can't understand why the people outside don't. It's the best country in the world. Right. The room is like getting to a relatively full situation now, so I'm going to go and prepare myself. And thank you for watching, thank you for waiting. We'll see you on the other side. How you doing, buddy? Thanks. Are they telling you not to let anyone in? No, that's not. face that way. All right, thanks. Thanks, baby. face of American hate speech. American hate speech sucks. If this is the face of this sort of racist, white supremacist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic, far-right America, I don't think the left has too much to worry about.
I mean, that is a good point, right? So they went from like wearing hoods to hateful people to
Democrats, yes.
Yeah.
That was what people do. KKK, yeah, Martin Democrats. Yes.
I think they're used to you people.
You know what? I'm going to invoke the memory of Daddy, who I met. See that I met him? I didn't know that I could sustain an erection for 4.5 hours. Even me. But no, it was possible. No, I met him, and it was lovely. It was one of those transcendent experiences you never quite forget. I'm just going to say something awful, but I can't.
Free speech, motherfucker. No, I'm not going to say that.
Hoist by my own petard. No, what I was going to say is it was a wonderful experience. I lost track of the question.
You were telling us how much you love Donald Trump.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yes, no, I was going to say you should consider yourself admonished. I disavow you. You're admonished as a dirty fucking liberal. No, I want you all to be kind today, because Dave has taken a journey. He's taken a journey with me. I am, I think, by far your most successful and popular guest of all time. Thank you. And I think I have by far exceeded the view count of any of your other guests. Thank you. And I've seen you go on a journey. I've seen you go on a journey from you. Can you believe this? The man that sits in front of you today is a crusader for free speech and real tolerance. This cultural libertarian that you see ahead of you used to work with young Turks. But you've come on a journey. And it's a journey I think a lot of America has come on.
Well, because I care about free speech more than I care about whether we agree on abortion or whether we agree on taxes.
We agree that you're wrong about everything.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought we were here to talk about you.
Well, it's
yeah, let's talk about you. What do you make of just this? What is happening?
It's wonderful. It's marvelous. You guys are understandably frustrated. Thank you so much for bearing it out, like sitting with all that craziness outside. What I would encourage you to remember is that once again our point is to improve for us. There's nobody in here. We'll find out in Q&A maybe, but unlikely to be many people in here who come with reason and evidence-based questions, with factual objections to something we might say on stage. Because I think basically it's pretty fucking difficult to argue that people should say they do really be what they want, which is all I've ever really asked for. But when you see the shrieking outside, did you see the girl with the trash can? You haven't seen this yet. I don't think you'll hear. She was outside. She was like wailing like a banshee, like some sort of supernatural creature. Have you seen The Ring? That the girl with the What are you here for? Like, what's wrong with Milo? I don't know who that is. Well, no, the two purposes that these people serve by not allowing anyone in. One is like care in the community. I'm like a free day out for the mentally ill. Because affirmative action on American campuses, you have to let retarded people in as well, and that's okay. People who think they're Napoleon. But the other reason that it's good is that it demonstrates what I try to suggest, which is that the left has lost its way. And I think it's part of the reason for your drift perhaps toward the centre, maybe more toward libertarianism, certainly toward cultural libertarianism. And it's been a lovely thing to watch, and I think it's a journey that America is going on too. And I think the ultimate conclusion of that journey, you're not there. You're not here yet. You're not with us yet. But I think the ultimate...
Oh, preacher wise one.
I think the ultimate... You're older than me, aren't you?
No, he's not. Keep up.
I'm counting. 31. I'm 31. In gay years, it's like dog years. In gay years, it's like 66. So if I'm not really rich and really popular and really successful, I'll never get... I'm fine, actually. I'm fine. No, look, I think it's great, and I think what it demonstrates is that the right now on campuses, conservatives and libertarians, are, if you like, the party of facts, the party of reason, the party of logic, the party of tolerance and free speech. And that's new. That hasn't always been so. I have no particular love for the religious right. I have no particular love for the censors and scolds and cultural nannies of the 1990s, when they were saying that video games can inspire school shootings and all that kind of stuff. That was horse shit. And it's horse shit now on the progressive left. And it's horseshit now when the progressive left says, with no evidence and invoking some vague mystical conspiracy theory called the patriarchy, that video games can somehow make you sexist. That's also horseshit. What I think what's happening here demonstrates is that to be rogue, to be punk rock, to be a dissident these days means to be conservative, to be libertarian, or indeed, and this is the final, I was about to say final solution. Of course.
It's not that part of the show yet.
That would end up on BuzzFeed in minutes. Final solution to the free speech problem. You heard it here first.
But isn't that it? Isn't that
I need Christina Hoff Sommers here to jump in with what Milo meant to say was. No, what I think the ultimate conclusion of this is the election of President Trump. Because irrespective of what you may think about his individual policies, although I think most Americans who work want immigration to be fixed, and most Americans who work see that this globalization and free trade hasn't worked for everyone, perhaps hasn't worked for them. I think the threat that Donald Trump represents to the people we hate most is so important. And this election is being fought culturally, not economically. The dirty secret, well, there are a couple of dirty secrets about Republicans and conservatives and libertarians under 40. One is they don't care about anti-Semitism, and no conservatives know about this, because they think it's the same kind of bogus thing as crying racism, crying sexism. Now, they're partly right and partly wrong about that. But nobody knows that, and nobody talks about that. They sort of interrogate that allegation with the same degree of skepticism, which is why a lot of Trump fans get accused of being anti-Semites on the internet. It's not that. They just find Jew jokes funny, like Hellraisers and Satanists of the 90s found that funny. And
so that frog with the Trump head?
No, that's...
He doesn't hate on Jews?
No, that's Pepe. That's Pepe.
Oh,
that's Pepe. That's Pepe. Pepe's lovely.
Pepe, we know Pepe?
Do you have any rare Pepes? Do we have any rare Pepes in the audience? Rare Pepes, we do. One of the other.
Frog telling me I own the central banks every day. I don't know what that.
We do. We do run everything. Facts can't be racist. Jews do are vastly overrepresented in the media. Vastly overrepresented in banking. No.
Come on, man.
Everybody says it. Okay. It's
you
there.
Told me you were Christian, you were
no,
atheist,
it's there.
you were black,
I've never said I was atheist. No one's ever said anything so awful to me. I never said I was atheist. My God. No. No, my mother is Jewish. So according to Jewish law, I'm Jewish, matrilineally speaking. That's their rules. I was raised. No, I've got two because I really love Jesus and I'll shoot someone for him. So I'm like, I won't. We don't condone violence. This is the Supreme Uzi. Do you like it? It's my favorite new thing. It's great. No, one other of the dirty secrets about people under 40, and I think the most important one, is that for them, cultural conservatism is gone. It's dead, and it's not coming back. These people rightly see the war on drugs as a mess, as a horrible disaster. They don't much care for the sort of religious conservatism that ran rampant in the 90s and blamed young people for things they weren't responsible for. And they don't much care for a lot of, reactionary, if you like, conservative social values. They don't care about much of that stuff.
So really, this whole thing, you are just a reaction to the Christian right, in a way, right? You're saying, I don't care about gay marriage, I don't care about drugs. These aren't the issues that matter, but they pushed that for a long time, and then they birthed you.
Well, I don't. No, I mean, no. I'm a creation, I suppose, if you want to demean me in that way. I suppose that you would call me a creation of the progressive left. I think I'm a necessary correction to the insanity on college campuses and in the media. There's no question whatsoever that American college campuses and the American media is infected with a disease, social justice. There's no question about it. And it may have started on your side, be propagated by people from your side. Are you responsible for this? The Young Turks? Were you ever talking about sort of? Do you ever on film complaining about sexism? Ever on film complaining about?
I know where it is. I know where it is.
Anyway, I think that there's something very wonderful happening in politics. I think Trump is doing it. In media and on campuses, I think I'm doing it. In media, you're doing it too. Pushing back against the people who want to control what you say, what you think, what you do, who you read, what video games you play, what language you can use, how you can dress, who you can hang out with. That's over now. Yes. It's not working anymore. It's all gone. It's all gone. And you can tell from the hysteria outside, you can tell from the furiousness of journalists at BuzzFeed and Gawker and Vike and Mike, Vox, whatever, all those terrible fucking places. You can tell from the ever greater hysteria about ever smaller subjects. You can tell they know the jig is up. You can tell from the atmosphere on campus. You just know, these people it's starting to dawn on them. They're starting to get the message that saying racist is not going to shut people up anymore. It doesn't shut me up. It doesn't shut anyone in this audience up. Now you've got to come with facts. Because for too long, the bogus cult of social justice has policed people's lives. It has forced people to watch their speech. I mean, like, if you just think about it, we'll talk about this a little bit in a minute, I think, but the death of Gawker and why I think it's a wonderful thing. And as a journalist, as a journalist, it's not very becoming of me to dance on the grave of any media publication in a time when it's so difficult to make ends meet and make anything worth it. But Gawker, more than any other publication, made people scared to make jokes. Ordinary private citizens were like, will a bored Gawker writer pick this up and ruin my life because I made a joke about AIDS? Mm-hmm. That's a sort of tyranny, and it's coming to an end. And the people who benefit from that tyranny, the mediocre, the lazy, the hateful, the fat, the facially pierced, the blue-haired, the people for whom being black is their only marketable skill. You see, sweetheart, no one's buying what you're selling anymore. No one's buying what you're selling anymore. There we go, off you go. If you go 2 blocks down, you'll find an ice cream truck, don't worry. There's a humming. Did somebody wire a detonator? I feel a buzz. I don't know what's happened. Okay.
Well, I'm guessing.
While the trash takes itself out, let's carry on.
Because I'm the good, guilty liberal here.
I know, you feel bad now, don't you?
I'm guessing if she had just waited till the end of this and asked you a question in the Q&A, you would have gladly listened to her, and then you would have done a little back and
I
forth.
published a column, How to Beat Me. I wrote it down. I literally gave them an instruction book, but they're so fucking self-involved and stupid and lazy, they don't read it and they don't listen. What I said, look, No position is insurmountable, except perhaps for the rugged defense of free speech and liberty. No position is impervious to criticism or to challenge. If you don't like something I say about Black Lives Matter, as it seemed this crazy Harridan didn't, if you don't like something that I say about feminism, come to me with facts, with reason, with logic. The progressive... And just as importantly, wait your fucking turn. I literally, so confident am I, that they are the most intellectually lazy people on the planet. I wrote them a guide on how to beat me. I tweet it every week. See, and this is this lovely inversion that I'm seeing happen, which I love so much. This lovely inversion of what the left has done to us for so long just shows how empty and platitudinous the crap they shut us down with is, Huh? Anyway. Thank you.
Talk about feminism. Let's use a segue. Okay, so feminism. This tour is called Feminism is Cancer.
Well, this talk is, yes, this talk
now,
is.
I remember when I first saw you tweeting about it. At that time, you had a blue check. You don't have that anymore.
How many followers do you have?
All right, whatever.
You want to start this shit again?
The point is, Milo.
I can get that Google trend graph out if you like.
Oh, trend. Right, I gotta give a small piece. Listen, here we go. All right, so when you started that thing, you knew what you were doing. You were going to inflame these girls, right? That was what you were going for. Is that the only...
Alluding to me as intentionally provocative.
Intentionally.
Intentionally provocative.
Intentionally provocative.
It's a horrible allegation.
How intentionally provocative were you trying to be? I mean, you throw that out there, and a lot of people are going to be upset. And I think some of it is legit, comparing feminism to cancer. A lot of good people die of cancer.
Yeah, and they email me and they say, I died of cancer, and you're right. I died of cancer. My mum died of cancer, or...
That was literally the most utopian something I've ever
God damn it, they contact me from the netherworld. I fucked that up, didn't I? I fucked that up. No, so let me tell the full story, because I'll get it right this time. 12,000 people watching this, and I fucked up my line. So over Christmas last year, correct, I was verified on Twitter. They took it away because they like social justice warriors and they like
we
me.
can get to that.
No, I think we're done on that subject. Actually, I think we're good. We're good.
Okay. You want to see my blue check? Or... All right, come on, go ahead. Go.
You're losing them.
Go ahead.
You're losing them. First of all, I said I had very exciting news. I'd just been appointed social justice editor of BuzzFeed. And I got lots of my friends in the media with blue checks to start tweeting, congratulations, buddy, to give it a sort of aura of verisimilitude. Because it's not a good troll unless you really, you got to go all out. And so there were thousands of people tweeting, at BuzzFeed Ben, at BuzzFeed Andrew, whatever his name is, how dare you, how could you hire this monster, I'm never reading BuzzFeed again. I'm just sitting at home going, Anyway, so Twitter tells me I have to take it off. But before I do, as the newly appointed social justice editor of BuzzFeed, I post this poll. And it said, would you rather your child had A, feminism, or B, cancer? And I think by now the world knows the results. 22,000 people voted, the public had their say, and cancer won 55-45. I had people coming to me, I'm going to get it right this time, saying, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I chose cancer. I had people coming to me saying, my mother died of cancer, And I chose cancer. You know, so it was a wonderful thing. And I thought, this has legs. This has legs. People really don't like this feminism stuff. And, you know, I've obviously already been talking about it a lot. Look, I say often that the only response to outrage culture is to be outrageous, but there's a serious point behind it, which is this. These people have lied to and about men for decades. They have ridiculed and demeaned half of the population on the basis of conspiracy theories and not fact. They have made it acceptable in public life, and not just acceptable, but laudable, to say things like, I bathe in male tears, masculinity is so fragile, all this kind of hateful garbage they spew, that people, they get rewards from their peers from, social and professional. They have made bigotry acceptable. I think a joke about cancer is the fucking least they deserve.
So not for these guys, for the people watching that don't really know you. You don't hate women, do you? Is this about... People will say, well, he hates women. I saw a sign outside, Milo Yiannopoulos hates women.
It takes a particularly stupid person to believe that feminism is equal to women, and to no, you know,
Let's not jump over that.
I don't take particular pains to make the distinction, because I think anybody incapable of understanding it isn't worth my time. It's not worth my time. I don't care about people that dumb. If somebody's so stupid that they don't understand that I'm saying that the modern incarnation of feminism is counterproductive for men and women, that doesn't mean I hate women. I don't care about you. If you are so stupid that you believe that, as I say frequently, the black community does deserve some restitution and some to have its problems addressed, but Black Lives Matter isn't the answer. If you think that means I hate black people and I'm racist, you're fucking stupid. And I don't want to spend... I don't lose sleep over the tears of people like that, and I take great pleasure in antagonizing the deliberately disingenuous people, for example, you know, the campus social justice warriors who know perfectly fucking well what I mean, but who show up, you know, like that crazy tranny from American University, who showed up with a sign that said, well, they're all crazy, obviously, but no one's trans, it's a brain disease. We can get into it. Well, you know, this crazy tranny with the awful hair and the little off-the-shoulder dress, like shot putter's shoulders in and off the shoulder. Hey, with a sign that says, Milo wants me dead. No, Milo just wants you in different clothes. No, I just, you know, and they just make this stuff up. Milo wants you dead. I've never said that. I don't want you dead. I'd like you in a treatment facility. I don't want you dead. No, but they just make stuff up. They deliberately misinterpret your remarks, and in some cases they're just fucking idiots, and I don't really care about those people. I like smart people like this.
So all of this, if you add all of this up, everything you said so far, this explains Trump perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why you should vote for him. You're going to vote for Daddy. You're going to vote. Do you hear that? Do you hear that little probably? That little wiggle room in there? That little room to maneuver. Hillary or Bernie? You see, the overall effect of Donald Trump. Now look, bombastic, but you can obviously deal with bombastic people. Occasionally contradicts himself. You can obviously deal with people like that. Has some, let's say, views that most people perhaps don't hold. You can obviously deal with people like that. There's nothing about him that you can't tolerate, given that you can, you know, have supper with me. So what's left is, what's the effect of a Donald Trump presidency going to be? He can't be that bad. I mean, the American system is designed to limit the power of the president, right? Nothing that bad is going to happen. What he's going to do, he's going to build a wall. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a beautiful wall. He's going to build a wall. He's going to build a wall. He's going to put feminists, cyclists, vapors, and maybe atheists. I haven't decided yet. No, I'm just kidding. You can stay, but you've got to like lighten the fuck up a bit. You know, they're going to go over the wall. They're going to go to Mexico. They're going to go to someone else. He's going to fix trade, you know, because it hasn't worked for all Americans. And
Go get laid and be happier.
left. See, I heard from my left. I heard from my left just now the very cruel and unkind comment. Did you hear what it was? You need some dick in your life. And no, stop. It was mean. It was mean. Don't applaud. Applaud later. I have a theory about this. Now.
Oh, you ready to bust out that theory that I heard this afternoon? This is that theory? Here we go.
Well, it's about Black Lives Matter. I've got this theory that it's basically a sort of militaristic lesbianic cult. Now, if you look at the men in Black Lives Matter, cucked as fuck, right? They're these whiny. I mean, DeRay is a homosexual for a start. Sean King, messed up, white. The guys are these sort of like wiry, weedy, little rich kids who are like squealing on stage about whatever. And other than that, it's mostly black women. It's mostly black women being the most hysterical and causing the most fuss. And they're all lesbians. Now, I've got perfect gaydar. My gaydar is immaculate. I sat down and it was almost hurting. But I've got perfect. Oh. I like a bit of mood lighting. There's a bit of drama. It's perfect. Somebody's got a hand. There's a fight going on in the back now. It's not even the stage lights, you stupid idiots. It's the wrong switch. We'll come back to Black Lives Matter next. Just you carry on with what you want to do.
You want to get back to that?
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Yeah?
We'll come back to it.
All right. So Trump becomes president.
Yes.
Do you think all these promises happen? Do you think you really?
Well, he's only made two promises. He's made two promises. Those two promises are fix the wall and it's build the wall and fix trade. I mean, everything else seems to be up for grabs, which is fine. I mean, who wants an activist president? Who said we had to have all these presidents that wanted to do things? The best president in history was Calvin fucking Coolidge because he did nothing. He did nothing. I think, Trump is going to quickly find that he's not able to do very much after he builds his wall and he fixes trade, and that suits most people just fine. He's going to be a slightly more bombastic Coolidge, and I think most people are fairly relaxed about that. But the cultural effect of Donald Trump is going to be very special. The cultural effect of Donald Trump is going to be marvelous. Donald Trump represents the single greatest threat to the left's 30-year history of shaming, name-calling, silencing, bullying, nannying, bossing around, the schoolmarmishness of the left, because he blows through it like a juggernaut. I mean, by comparison, I'm merely a well-appointed, 9/11 or something. He's like a freight train. He represents an existential threat to the regressives we hate so much, because he shows them up for the nonsense that they are. Every time he's accused of being a sexist, he'll double down or explain with evidence and history why it's not true. Every time he's accused of being a racist, I think he probably just laughs it off and moves on. Every time he's accused of any of these things, it doesn't work, it doesn't affect him. And the media, which is so in hock to these ridiculous liberal social justice lunacies and platitudes, has lost its power to affect how people vote. The power of the American media to shape elections is fucking gone. It's over. And for those of us who think that journalism in this country is a shit show, that's no bad thing. I applaud that. I'm happy about that. The overall effect of Trump, I think, will achieve all of the objectives you most care about, which is why I'm so desperate to get you on the train. Who thinks Dave should vote for Trump?
My nightmare is coming to life, right?
You mean you're realizing I'm right?
No, go ahead.
No, that was a question.
You haven't got me there yet. Keep going.
See, I feel like he's softened, even in the course of this chat.
Keep going.
I feel like it's all right, okay, we'll get there. What else you got?
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the other person that you love, because I know Trump is one of your loves, but I think your first love really
Mariah Carey
is Ben Shapiro.
Oh.
Now, to turn the tables on you a little bit here, I have to say that as a liberal, I enjoy watching two right-wing people kick the shit out of each other.
We don't. We love each other.
Yeah, but what happened? Because you guys used to really. It was fun. It was fun with you two, and now.
And then little Benji lost his sense of humor. I was being nice. No, shut up. I was being nice. I was being so nice, and then it seemed to take a turn. And I think it took a turn around the same time he realized Trump was going to be president. And he realized that doubling down on that and the other thing, which I can't talk about, probably ended his career. And it would be a really good idea if he started rolling back. I don't know. I think I can't talk too much about this because it's mean to punch people when they're on the way down. But what? Have you seen our Google Trends? No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, look, there are commentators who were in their prime feisty and brilliant and appeal to young people, and there are new, more interesting voices replacing them. And I don't think it's very becoming for those new, interesting voices to shit on people who used to be great.
So does that go to that at one time, as you're saying, this was about, people cared about politics because of issues, and you're saying that simply this election is just not about issues?
No, and Ben will never understand that because he's been in the game too long, and he's, to put it briefly, part of the problem. He's still interrogating the political election on the basis of policy. Nobody's voting for policies. Young people don't care about foreign policy. They don't care about any of this stuff. They don't care about, Israel, frankly, to be honest. They don't care about most of the stuff that political pundits talk about. They don't care about any of the things the Washington elites think are so important, this sort of this think tank crap. They don't care about any of that stuff. They care about culture. And they care because they've grown up for 20, 30 years under an oppressive cultural landscape, which has told them, even though they know they're not, that they are bigots, that they're hateful, that they're sexist, that they're misogynist, that they're, all the rest of it. People have, the people in this hall, and even me, I mean, I've grown up for 30 years being told there's something wrong with me when I know there isn't. And people have reached breaking point with it now. And Trump has come along at exactly the right moment when people are prepared to vote culturally. And people are prepared to vote yes for a wacky, outsized candidate because they realize that nothing's going to change otherwise. And I think that those commentators who, you can tell them by their fury. The people who were the most angry about Trump, the never Trump people, are the people who realize that the gravy train just skidded to a halt. There is no more money for you. And and why? Very simple. You're losers. You kept losing. You lost every major argument with the possible exception of guns and maybe abortion. Everything else you lost. Conservatives are losers. They kept losing everything. And the public is tired of looking at conservative media and conservative politicians and seeing losers.
Well, we don't have a ton of time left. Should we talk about Islam? That's a lot.
If only rape culture were real, I'd spend even more time in fraternities.
So we'll go to rape culture. I saw some signs out there. Milo likes rape. Milo
Milo likes rape. That one I have to give them. Not you, not rape of you, rape of me.
Okay, so
They knew. There's no rape culture on American college campuses. It's fucking insane. What the Department of Justice statistics show is that perhaps 1 in 52 women are not raped but sexually assaulted, which is too many, but it is as Christina likes to say, world away from 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5. It seems to go down. I think, it's going to end up like 20 in 4 women by the time we finish this conversation. But look, The left has a supply and demand problem, as Douglas Murray likes to say, with bigotry, so it has to enlarge the definition. So rape has now become sexual assault because, I can do this to you, and I, put it in the statistics. And they have to take these non-representative tiny samples in adult education colleges where everyone's 40, and of course they've had more life experience and bad things have happened when they've been out in the real world. If they're in adult education college, their life has probably been pretty shit. So no wonder that there's a higher incidence of these things. You have to do so much massaging and horse shit to get to these numbers, like 1 in 3, 4, 5. It's the most intellectually dishonest statistic in America today. It is shameful. Shameful. And the protester that we had here and the gender studies departments at universities should feel ashamed of themselves for lying to women. They should be ashamed of themselves for making women worried to go out on campuses, which are the safest places to be if you are a young woman. If they weren't, people wouldn't come to them. And a partisan point, if you want one, these are places that have been run by liberals for 30 years. And now liberals are telling us that places run by liberals are hotbeds of racism, sexism, and rape. Maybe it's time to put Republicans in charge. Of course, the truth is that none of that actually happens. None of it is real. It's used as a way to control people by the progressive left. Well, guess what? It doesn't work anymore. Rooms like this are filling up everywhere I go. Your audiences are exploding. This doesn't work anymore. The name calling, it's over. The public shaming, it's over. Liberals have to now come with facts, with arguments, with reason. In many cases, they're going to lose, and they're not going to like it very much, but they've got to learn to play fairly in the open marketplace of ideas, or they are going to be pushed so far out to the fringes of society, they are going to create things like Trump. The protesters outside, thank them. I thank them every time I show up because they are what is going to put Trump in the White House.
So what's the end game for Milo? What's the end game here?
Press secretary in a Donald Trump White House. Yeah.
You really
I quite like and I quite like to also make the office like a press regulator as well. Now everyone says, "Oh, aren't you a free speech person? Like, why are you sort of like you sort of? Oh, you know Peter Thiel? Did you see the stuff like the Silicon Valley billionaire? So he's been secretly funding Hulk Hogan's case against Gawker. What a boss! Why do I think? Peter Thiel is not a threat to free speech. Peter Thiel is one of the people defending it. Why? Because Gawker is one of the primary engines of the nannying, silencing, bullying culture. Throughout the 90s and the 2000s, Gawker was responsible for scaring more people into silence than any Silicon Valley billionaire. People were terrified of what Gawker was going to do because it threw out bogus allegations of sexism and racism on a daily basis and destroyed lives. Getting rid of Gawker isn't a threat to free speech. Getting rid of Gawker is the best thing you can do to protect it. So, in my mind, Peter Thiel is a hero. And when Trump says, I think we should make it harder for the media to lie about people, anyone seriously disagree with that? We have a systemic industry-wide failure in this country in journalism. That's precisely when the government's supposed to step in. The First Amendment doesn't mean you can, maybe it does mean, but there should be consequences. You can knowingly print lies about people. Now, he's not saying if you get your facts wrong, you should be thrown in jail. Trump is talking about mendacious libel, knowingly printing things that aren't true about people. That happens to conservatives every day. Every day I read something in the press about me that is not true. And they refuse to change it. They refuse to change it because they know there are no consequences. There are no consequences for lying about conservatives, libertarians, Trump supporters, no consequences whatsoever. In fact, they will get rewards for doing it. Well, the tide is changing now, and I think that's good. Free speech is reasserting itself, and it's coming from the people. Look at these outlets, and not just the far left ones, but even CNN, closing their comment sections because they're so fucking scared of what people in this room might say. Well, fuck them. Yes. Fuck them. I don't think it would be a bad thing if the internet did look a bit more like if the world did look a bit more like an internet comment section. It's more true and more real than anything you read in the newspapers.
That frog, he's real?
Pepe is real and very rare.
Can you just explain the frog to me and then we're done here?
No, you're too old. You'll just never understand it. Sorry. It's a generational thing.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll just kick it back to you. I mean, I feel you've given your closing statement. I think people get the idea, but is there anything that you want to leave these guys with? Anything that you want to give them to go out and talk to those guys out there? And how do you get those guys? How do you convert those guys?
I don't care about those people. There's no reason why I should care about those people. No, they don't. No, they don't, because they're a tiny minority that has run rampant on campuses, run rampant in the media, and even infected politics, but their time is over. And you can tell. There's a girl outside. I was joking about the mentally ill thing, but only a little bit. There's a girl outside. Somebody came up to me and said they walked outside. I said, what is it that you're so upset about? What don't you like about Milo? They turned around and said, I don't know who he is. They literally just show up to let off steam, and in the process, they're putting, they're about to put their worst nightmare into the White House, and they are making me more famous with every time they do it, more successful every time they do it, more effective every time they do it. And the grand result of all of this, aside from feeding my narcissism, for which I thank you anyway, is that I've become, and I think you're like this too, we've become symbols of rebellion. We've become symbols of a movement of young people, and it is not just conservatives, and many disaffected liberals too, and that's sort of where you come in, really easing these people over and letting them know that it's safe to come, that the water's lovely,
Everybody plays their role.
Right. This is where you're so crucial to the movement, if you like. Their time is over. They're becoming ever more hysterical because they know it. We're entering a time of fun and freedom and mischief, the ability to say what you want, do what you want, be what you want. We're entering a time when those people who wanted to control you through the medium of public shaming and name-calling are losing their power to do so. And it is a glorious, wonderful thing. You should all be very happy and proud that you're part of it. And if there's something that I'll give you to take away, because I see this glamorous, beautiful lady hovering. If there's something that to take away from this, it's that I'd like you all to line up to say hi to us afterwards, and every one of you to give him your own reason why he should vote for Donald Trump. I just gave you a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Milo Yiannopoulos, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Dave Rubin. Give Dave Rubin a huge round of applause. Thank you. Sorry we got cut so short. Huh?
Sit down. We have a surprise.
We're going to cancel your Q&A. That we're going to stop you from having the ability to ask us things. But your gracious hosts here from UCLA, who you should thank enormously for the massive hell they've been through today, have suggested that we can. See, I do this stuff for a living. It doesn't bother me anymore. But these poor people have had, shrieking protesters in their faces, telling them they are hateful, bigoted monsters for bringing us to campus. So, they've done a really good thing. You should be grateful to them. They have very wonderfully suggested, I think you're about to say, that we can do a short Q&A for as much time as we're allowed to have the room for.
Yes. So, if you would like to ask a question, please line down on this side. We will give you, you're not allowed to touch the mic, we're not touching you. Very short amount of questions. Not minutes, no longer. And to ask a question, I will pull away the mic if you go beyond a minute. Okay?
We'll try and answer as quickly as possible.
Oh, hey, what's up? My name is Shibam. I was the creator of Make UCLA Great Again.
Wonderful.
We had elections here, and one of our big platforms is we wanted a chalk wall where students could have free speech. And since we announced that, we got a lot of criticism. People were using terms we never heard of, like anti-Zionist and bigots. And I guess one of my questions is, do you think this hatred towards free speech starts at a college level and then it gets deeper? Or is it, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
It's worse than that, actually. It starts at high school now, because teaching as a profession does not attract the highest IQ candidates. I mean, it's true of your professors as much as it is of high school teachers. If they were smarter, they'd be in a real job. You know, people feel like they have to go through the motions of being like kind and polite and deferential to teachers. Oh, it's such a great profession. No, they're fucking idiots, and they're all left-wing cunts, and they're indoctrinating our children with lies. And it's why so many people are being homeschooled now. It starts in high school, unfortunately. But once we fix it here and we fix it in the media, we can work our way down to that. Thank you.
Milo, Dave, thanks for coming. Just because you are a certain way doesn't mean you have to derive your sense of self from that. And I'm wondering why you think people my age cling to their sexuality or gender is what defines them.
Yeah, I mean, was that clicking? Was that feminist clicking? Good Lord. Good. We don't have that at my events. We have only the jazz hands. Or if you're particularly excitable, you can do pizzazz hands. You can do I can't do it with a mic in my, there's lots, you can look them up. The problem is that one of the ways in which the left seeks to demonize and eradicate masculinity is by eroding it as a concept and by trying to destroy the idea of the gender binary, which is just biological reality. They try to do this by muddying the waters between men and women, inventing this horse shit about genderqueer nonsense, you know, asexuality. Asexuality? Asexual, not asexual, you're just fat and you can't get a date. The only real asexual is Cliff Richard, and even he, I think, was done for fiddling with boys, wasn't he? No, I mean, yeah, this is one of the ways in which the left, it's part of the left's war on men. And it's one of the ways in which they seek to attack masculinity. The problem is women don't want it. Women don't want it because they are going out now and finding that no man actually makes them happy. And men don't want it either. It's become a sort of, I think because feminism won, and we should be happy that it did, won the vote, so women have equal access and opportunities to everything, and they get equal pay and all the rest of it. You're down with that. You're not that much of a liberal, are you?
I'm with you.
No, good, okay, fine. I have to check, because they invented all this shit. Eventually we have to claw them back like tooth and nail. We eventually get them back over to the other side, reason and common sense. The problem with it all is that this obsession with the genderqueer nonsense, obsession with new, new civil rights frontiers, as Time called transgenderism, is that feminism has got nothing left to fight for, so it's got to try to, erode the hetero, cis, white, patriarchal, whatever, in other ways. And it's a shame, but the bottom line is there are men and there are women, and we're different, and that's okay. And you should remind your children of that and tell them not to listen to their teachers.
Milo, you're so handsome.
Oh, stop it.
I'm co-founder of Everpedia, UCLA startup that is Wikipedia minus the fascism. Gawker has tried to ruin my life. They've bullied me and picked on me more than pretty much anybody, and still, every day, Gawker is my main go-to news source, and it's because Gawker has jokes.
Yeah.
And I want to know, why doesn't Breitbart or some non-horrible news outlet out there have jokes? Can you make something that competes with Gawker for my sense of humor and providing entertainment while also giving me the news?
Well, they employ me. I mean, how much do you want? I mean, the number of black dick jokes that Breitbart lets me publish, I mean, I'd never get away with it anywhere else. No, they've been amazing to me and very supportive, and I think it's an example of media done right, because we're like free speech central in our comment sections. People can say pretty much whatever they want, and we love that. And we've been embracing this new movement, and hiring people like me, I think, demonstrates that conservative media, although it might have been slower to get to the sort of bite and waspishness and humour that you're looking for, is certainly catching up fast. And there are some other good places. I think we're the best, which is why I work at Breitbart. But I don't think you'll have that problem for very much longer. I think this movement is so big and so powerful that that anybody with any sense and any budget to hire writers realizes this is where it's at. And in the 90s and the 2000s, when liberals kind of ruled the roost in entertaining biting kind of humorous commentary on the news is over. So now, the left is the establishment. The left are in charge. You can only really be funny by poking fun at them. And there are only a couple of places. There are only a couple of places you're going to be able to read that.
Hi, Milo. Just want to say this is incredibly surreal. Glad I get to see you. All that good stuff. My question is.
Oh, leave him alone. I feel the same looking in a mirror. No, if you're excited to be here, imagine how I feel being me. It's great.
My question is you never talk about Gamergate that much anymore, but what role do you think it played in all of like this cultural revolution?
So I see a couple of frat boys in here. I see a couple of athletes in here. I see a couple of people who don't fall into the typical kind of gamer, the stereotypical idea of what gamers look like. But you should be hugely grateful for those so-called basement-dwelling nerds, because what the Gamergate movement did was prove that it is possible to beat the left. They did it when conservative media failed. They did it when conservative politicians failed. It was the first time that ordinary people proved that you could beat the feminist wackos if you tried. If you went up and said, no, where's your evidence? Where's your facts? That you could actually win, that you could beat them into submission, and that they would retreat into the humiliating circumstance of having nothing but, oh, death and rape threats are ruining my life, and trying to distract people from the fact that they lost the argument. It is a wonderfully emboldening moment in internet culture, and it is the reason I think that the cultural libertarian movement emerged. It is the way that many of us who have the privilege to have large audiences in that movement met. It's how we met. It's how we know each other. It's what brought us together. It is such an exciting and crucial and critical part of not just internet history, but cultural history in this country. It is the first time we beat the fuckers. And so, if you believe in the stuff that I believe in, and you share my views on any of the free speech stuff, and share his views on any of the free speech stuff, you should thank your lucky stars for those gamers. It's worth also thinking about. I said that I'm going to big up Breitbart a little bit because my boss is in the audience. It's worth also considering that conservative media doesn't really have your back either. At least not establishment conservative media. This was the most spectacular, most stunning failure to get behind something that could really do damage to the bad guys that I have ever seen. No conservative media outlet wanted to cover this because they'd spent the 90s bashing video games over violence. They couldn't do this screeching U-turn and say, oh, well, they do make you violent, but they can't make you sexist. They were in such a bad position because they bought into this horse shit. They exhibited the most extreme form of cowardice I've ever seen, and it made me realize why Americans are so angry with their own conservative politicians and their own conservative media. And as you know, Breitbart didn't just support me, but they backed me to the hill, beefed up my resources, and we won. We won.
Hey Milo, thanks for coming out. So my question relates to, you've been saying that the left is on the run and that there's no united front on the left anymore, and I want to push back on that and say I do see a united front, even though their insults are becoming more vacuous, or people are seeing them as more vacuous. I don't see that they're on the run. On the right is where I see the fragmentation. I see the type of alt-right nationalists. I also see the quasi-libertarians, and the religious right still exists. So in light of all those things, I kind of wonder what you think the future of American conservatism is, and I also want you to back up your claims that the left is on the run a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Sure, it's a good question. Well, to take the first bit of it, there's fragmentation on both sides because life is messy and complicated and no two people believe the same thing. So we put ourselves into these broad buckets and we vote for political parties. We hope that they're going to pursue most of the agenda that we like. I think it's easy to characterize the right as in crisis. It certainly is, but I don't see it so much as... I don't really see that what's happening in the American right as a crisis. It's more of a generational change. You've got a lot of people in their 50s and 60s clinging desperately onto the levers of power who have resisted for 30 years, making way for younger, smarter, more interesting people because they're scared by them. They don't want to let go. And this is what the average age of a Fox viewer is. It 69, 71? It's not good news. That's not good news. My fans go as young as 13. That's good news. That means that people are listening that are young. I think what's happening on the right is a generational change. I think the young alt-writers and whatever who represent over half of conservatives in this country now, at least, and it's probably more, for whom culture really matters. I think that's a generational shift. What's happening on the left is more difficult to discern because the left traditionally protects its own bad actors. The left doesn't eject anyone. You can be the most appalling, lesbianic misandrist on the left, and nobody will ever say a bad thing about you. They might not praise you in public anymore, but they won't diss you. You're a white supremacist, you will never get a job in conservative media. The worst, most bigoted, racist, sexist, dreadful characters have columns in mainstream left-wing publications. They will never be ejected by the left. The problem is that ordinary people at home are starting to see this, starting to work out that some of this stuff is hateful, and the left now has a big problem. I think the split on the left is very clearly exhibited by the Bernie-Hillary thing. I think what's happening on the right is different, it's generational.
Thanks for the honor of the last question. I'm not sure you're going to think it's a great one to end on. It's a question on topic. A question on topic of eugenics. Is it worth it?
Oh God. Go on.
I was curious when I heard you mention in an interview recently. You quipped that gay men should procreate to a higher degree. It would be better.
Yes.
That piqued my interest in. What does a guy like you think on this topic of eugenics, past, present, future?
End on eugenics? I don't know if we can end on eugenics.
No, I think it's good. Do you want to take that? No. I think what I wrote was that, obviously it would be a shame if this didn't enter the gene pool. It wouldn't be fair on any of you. No, I think what I wrote is it's a shame that, it was a shame that gay people weren't breeding anymore. In the 50s and 60s, gay people used to get married, have kids, and have a sort of double life. And that's when gay culture is at its best, when it's forbidden, when it's dissident, it creates a culture for great art and all the rest of it. Now, when gay people get sort of domesticated like him by the left, encouraged to get a dog, get married, settle down in a gay ghetto in West Hollywood, basically become a sort of safe, domesticated, conservatized homosexual. This is not the moment for you to speak. Part of the problem, in other words. They don't breed. If I'm guessing if you were going to have kids, you'd probably adopt one because it's like, the good thing to do. You get a little chocolate baby. Yeah, probably. When it gets to 16, I'll take it off you. Took you long enough. What I say with you, because gays test higher for IQ, on average, and IQ is 60 to 80% heritable, it's a shame that gay people aren't breeding anymore. We know, for instance, that the median IQ in this country is going down, while the median IQ in Russia and China is going up. That obviously has consequences for this country's ability to compete. Now, most of that was in the context of a relatively satirical column, but now you've suggested I might be eugenicist. I'm going to have to go away and think about it. Maybe I am.
I can accept that.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
I'll just quickly add one thing to that, which is I don't know if my husband and I are going to have kids, but we're going to keep trying. So.
Good night, everybody! Dave Rubin, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. We're really glad that we got such a big turnout for the event. We need people to exit from the front, right, and left entrances. Please don't exit through the back.
Are we gonna say hello to people? Are we gonna get to say hello to people?
If you want to, but we have to.
Fine. So we.